if you've been paying attention to the political media, everybody's trying to get in on their opinion on the coronavirus and how the government as well as the CDC are doing. So we want to take a moment and just do a coronavirus fact check based on what politicians are saying. First of all, Mike Bloomberg and Joe Biden both said that the CDC was defunded by Trump and that we're not ready. This in fact is not true. According to the Associated Press, Trump had submitted to cut the funding many years ago. However, that was turned down and that they are completely funded and no defunding took place anytime under the Trump administration. More so, Donald Trump addressed the nation saying that additional cases in the U.S. are likely, but healthy individuals should fully recover, and this is true as well. Also addressed by the president was how many people die of the flu compared to how many people had died by the coronavirus. Now, that is true, but the coronavirus is very new. According to the New York Times, 0.1% of people that get the flu die of the flu. Roughly what that means is if 1,000 people get it, one person might die. But if 100 million people get it, 100,000 people die. And that was greater than what we had in deaths of the flu last year. Compared to the coronavirus, 2 to 6% of the people that get it, which means if 1,000 people get it, 20 to 60 people will die instead of one like the flu. If 100 million people get it, that means 2 to 6 million people will die of the coronavirus based on those numbers. Now, of course, numbers aren't constant when it comes to nature. Depends on our behavior, and we have a lot of control over this as well. Community isolation, extreme hand washing, and following the examples of what other countries are doing will play a big role in how the U.S. responds to this and how prepared we really are. On a side note, I will say that I believe that the CDC is doing a very good job being proactive with this. Kind of what I mean by that is I'm a head of school of a tiny little Christian school in the middle of the country, and we received a letter from the CDC stating what we need to do, how to be proactive, and how we might respond had there be a pandemic and how we are to respond to reduce the spread of this disease. So just simply looking at the communication I've received and the instructions I've received from the CDC so far, I'm fairly impressed. Based on our behavior when it comes to spreading disease makes a big difference. When SARS first showed up, every person that caught the virus would expose 3 people to it, but as behaviors changed and community came together with a common desire to reduce the spread of disease, that number was reduced to 0.1, significant decrease. So we'll continue to follow the politicians. Definitely check out the facts. Don't jump on the fear wagon. Definitely don't jump on the panic wagon, but also be very prepared and definitely be educated on this as well. Thank you for watching this episode of GFG Politics.